through our long meeting. So I do have some really cool updates to talk about this week. So at Mayfest, I found this great picture of Mayfest with Dan. Look at Taylor in the corner. But Mayfest, the date is confirmed, Friday, April 29th, 2011. So get excited, write it down. It's going to be from 1 to, let's say, 1 to 6 p.m. in Walnut Park. It's going to be a great time again. We did remember, maybe some of you don't remember, but we talked about having guest passes for students to bring friends from other universities. There was a little negotiation, but we got them. We have 350 guest passes that will be sold. We don't know the exact price yet. We do know that they will be pre-sale, so there won't be day of sale. And we don't know anything on music yet. We're eagerly awaiting UU. They've been working obviously very hard since they first got their budget from the end of the year. And UU's actually created a new position called the Director of Mayfest within their organization. They're entirely dedicated to their Mayfest piece, which is great for us because obviously our goal at the end of this year is to transition all of our involvement with Mayfest to UU. SA is not a programming body, and it kind of just matches up with everything we've already been doing. So we listened, we heard what students wanted, we've created this event, and now it's time for us to move on to the next thing. So hopefully after a very successful 2011 Mayfest, we'll be transitioning everything to UU. All right, it's a brief report tonight, guys. So I sat down and got the chance to sit down with DPS today about a couple different things. One is property registration. If you haven't done this already, especially if you live off campus, I would suggest you do. Essentially, city police has this big room full of evidence, basically recovered stolen property. They don't know who it belongs to. And it's tough to get it back to the people that the rightful owners. So what you should do, especially if you live off campus, is go on and register your valuables with Syracuse Police Department. In case you end up in that situation where your stuff is stolen, at least you're covered in this aspect of it. Okay. A couple things that we should look at, especially regarding the escort service, the two programs that operate. I know that there was some little confusion on this at the end of last semester, so we're trying to clear it up. The Shuttle You Home program, which operates out of Watson Hall, that runs from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then the Shuttle 44 program, which runs from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Now, if you call this number on the bottom, that is the escort number. DPS had so many escorts last year, their dispatch got bogged down, so they opened a whole new line specifically for escorts. Now, this opens up a very interesting situation for Student Association because escorts, the main people that call it's not for safe ride, it's because it's late at night, it's cold, and people want to ride home. And that's not what DPS is there for. They're not a taxi service. So one of the things that I think that we're going to look for our student life with looking at is student transportation on campus and getting students back. And obviously we've talked quite a bit about this. The bus from Marshall Street to the off-campus community, or just getting students home, and on-demand shuttles. And obviously this leads to a much larger issue of student transportation and how we move around on the hill and what we can do to fix that. So we've charged Taylor and Student Life with working to come up with some sort of option solutions that we can look with and work with university services to create. So we'll hopefully looking forward to the next couple of weeks and see what they come up with. Okay, and finally, every Monday I meet, there's one Monday a month that I meet with the University Neighborhood Partnership, which is every neighborhood association in the area, and then special neighborhood district as it's classified. Tonight we talked a lot about transportation. Seems to be a common theme up on the Hill. And there was a study that was done a couple years ago, and this is a follow-up presentation talking about what's already been accomplished. But one of the things they talk about and they're really concerned about is parking in the East neighborhood, especially around Euclid. Obviously we have a lot of commuters who come in, look for free parking, and free parking is in the neighborhood. But it's also on top of students and residents in the neighborhood. Students, there are 5 students in the house, there's 5 cars. With your typical family home, there's 5 people in the house, maybe 1 or 2 cars. So I offered up and told them about Ride Shark, about how that's our commitment as far as students are concerned to help alleviating that issue in the neighborhood and working with, because obviously it's open, the Ride Shark is not just for students, but it's also for the university community as a whole, for faculty and staff to help the community over here. So Greg's taking on Ride Shark, right? He's taking the lead on that. So thanks for all the work that you've already put in and you'll continue to put in. Okay. And finally, an issue that's been ongoing since last summer is the city passing these new ordinances surrounding rental properties. There's some really strange stuff that's happening, and I'm not okay with it as far as how students are being looked at in that neighborhood. So that's what you'll see is my focus as SA president is to look out into our community and how students interact with our community and what we can do to better that relationship. But also just to represent students. Like I said, I ran on making sure students are included in key decisions. And this is a key decision that's being made even outside the university level, but at a city and county level, and there's no student representation whatsoever. So we'll be having a very large focus on that. Okay, so there's there's not too much coming up in the next week or two, but we do a smoke-free campus coming up on Wednesday, and I know that Jess will have a lot more to talk about in the following week on that. And that should be it. Are there any questions from you tonight? No questions at all? Great.